cool.
Welcome to Sunday Night Guardians, special Monday night edition, basically to accommodate my travel baseball family. You know what? Throughout the year, we're probably going to have a number of these Monday night shows. It's a typical travel day for the team. So, summers are busy, and we'll probably do this throughout the year. So if you don't see us on Sunday, we'll probably be there on Monday. So welcome. We are the Sunday Night Guardians, not to be confused with the Guardian Sunday Night that I call them. And in my just, if you see me do it, it's Sunday Night Guardians, not Guardian Sunday Night.
I've never heard you mess that up.
Yeah. Listen, okay. Let me tell you right now. We got here's the meat and potatoes. The show. James Ella Fritz at Fritz 330 on your X. Also over at Keon Sports, and Bill Petrello at Petro Rock 44, and my favorite editor and columnist over at NEO Sports. And not with us tonight. There's word that he's going to be back next week from his secret mission is Zach. He's over on X at Zach at the Corner podcast, and I'm Roger First in Cuyahoga Falls. My ad is something like Roger First C Falls, and you'll find me here and Wednesday nights 9:30 co-host of Dog Chug. All right, let's start over there. Let's start with my paisan, Guyama, amigo, Billy, amigo, ¿cómo está? What's going on?
Not much. How you doing? You've been a busy, you had a busy weekend with all that baseball. And you had only rain one game got rained out, right?
Yeah.
Or Sunday, did you have a bunch of rainouts?
There's rainouts, yeah. Sunday. The whole day was a mess. Man. It was awful weather Sunday. I'll tell you about it. Yeah, man. It was
Well, this whole spring has been a mess for high school baseball. I mean, think about it. They just finished the state championship this past weekend because of all the rainouts and everything else they had. And of course, the championship the championship game were the two best Cincinnati schools battling it out for supremacy. And my buddy who graduated from St. X, shout out, Mark. Congratulations on your St. X club. And in fact, St. X had like 5 state championships in the spring season. It's pretty impressive.
Wow.
Damn. Yeah.
Wow.
So welcome to have everybody here. Let's go. Let's get this started.
All right, James, you're back up and running. You got you're back into your studio, you're getting it put together. You were in here working yesterday. You've done all kinds of wonderful stuff for the show just in the last couple of days. How's things out there in the north of Canton?
Hey, we're great down here, Stark County, enjoying ourselves. And, I'd like to hear more about your Michigan trip because typically in these shows that are from people from Northeast Ohio, we like to talk some Michigan trash. But I'm sitting in here with 2 guys that are big Michigan guys. They're Michigan men.
Yeah.
So we really aren't going to do that here, right? It's just going to be all good about what happened up in Michigan, right? You had some great pictures around the Detroit area. Looks like you had a great time up there. Otherwise, besides the rain on yesterday.
We did. And, because we're a family of 5, we try to plan other things or do other stuff. And then you family of 5, you can't spend a boatload of money. You're already into the hotel and you're into travel in 30 minutes from field to hotel. I don't even want to get into the whole racket. That's the travel ball organization. It's not the teams and the coaches and the players. The people that run the tournaments is a racket. But my boy works hard at it and he excels. He deserves to play because he works hard at it. But anyway, Sunday weather was a mess. We got home way later than we wanted. We went 2-2 in the tournaments and then we're eliminated. Our big game was on Saturday. We were down 4-0. We're playing against Detroit Steel. All right, one of their teams out there, and Down 4-0, it's the fourth inning. Our son D-Lay comes up. He leads off the fourth, rattles a double, one hops the fence, 360 out there in left center field.
Ooh.
And he got the rally started. They loaded the bases, and our big guy come up. This kid, I'm going to talk about him in the future. I'm going to find out where he plays. I didn't get to talk to him about his folks much. Owen pitcher. Come up, he hit a grand slam, tied the ball game, and then he come up in the sixth and hit a 2-run double. And we propelled us into the next round. We went up there. We saw all kinds of things. We saw downtown Detroit. My boys love the Tiger Stadium with all the tigers all over it. I said, it looks like I'm at the zoo. This ain't a baseball park. This is something from the zoo. Give me the Jake. Give me Progressive Field. We went to Mom's Spaghetti. And I tell the story last week? Me and Jack were driving, and he told me about the place. And as he's telling me, one of the songs came on. Eminem's song came on the radio as he is telling me, so we had to go. So we went. It was actually good. I had a spaghetti sandwich. That was good. We saw Comerica Park, and then there's a guy, Charles. He's right next to. They have across from the park, like 4th Street, where a road they paved it, and they got lights and restaurants on each side. Directly across from Comerica. Really nice down there, just like going downtown Cleveland. They make a nice atmosphere. Of course, they were on the road, so it was kind of dead. It was nice that it was dead down there. But there's this man, Charles, I met, and they have a thing called Pingree, and I promised him, because I wouldn't buy anything, that I would give him a promo on here. And what they do is they take leather from recycled leather from seats, planes, trains, automobiles, everything unused. They recycle it and make products out of it. He's right there across from the ballpark, Comerica Park. And then Saturday night, I went to listen to this, guys. You're gonna love this. Saturday night, I went down to a Tigers sports bar in like a suburb, real nice suburb, Berkeley. Very nice. Looked like Rocky River-ish, man. Avon Lake, I felt like I was in. And I walk into a sports bar. It's packed. It's got an upstairs patio. It's people. And it wasn't like people eating. It was people drinking and gathering. So I was like, oh, this is a Tiger gathering, man. I'm in. And Martinez hit home run. They kind of ignored me. I just waltzed into the place. And then soccer started. The World Cup started. America playing who they played the first game? Paraguay. And that's when the place got hopping and the game started and USA scored the goal and the place went berserk, and I was like, oh, they're all here for the soccer game. I did meet a guy that was actually he's from Guam, born in Guam, San Diego transplant. Now he has to suffer through Tigers baseball, but he's a Padres fan, and I got to talk to him and another guy. Met some nice people, Detroit fans. I didn't go down to the south. I was going to go to a bar on the south side and shoot some pool, but I didn't do that. I stayed off the south side. So that's about it. That was my weekend. We had a good time. We went to the Ford. Jesus, you ever go to the Ford museum, Henry Ford? It sits on about 9 million acres in Dearborn. It's all of Dearborn. And there's everything in there. The presidential cars are in there. The Wright brothers there. There's all kinds of stuff in there. And then I saw him walking, and I see a Plymouth Horizon, like an 81 Plymouth Horizon. And I drove one of those. And that's when I'm done with museums. When you're walking through and see stuff that you used in your lifetime and it's in a museum, I'm done. I'm done with the whole museum tour. I don't want to partake anymore and be a relic in one of the next thing you know, they're going to put me in one of the displays. So I went and sat down on the bench as the rest of the family finished the tour and all that. So that was my weekend. And thank you for accommodating me and coming on here on Monday night. Let's get to some baseball. James, take over.
All right, guys, let's do a quick recap from last week. We had the Yankees in town in Cleveland. It was kind of a piggyback series where we went into New York, took 2 out of 3, almost could have swept that series. And then they come to our place, and what happened, guys? Looks like we shit the bed, right? We lost all 3 games, Yankees swept us. And here's what I want to say about that. This is a Aaron Judge-less Yankees team that came in and swept us as well. How do you guys feel about that with them coming in and just paying us right back? I mean, we were right there for first place in the American League let alone where we are in the division.
Well, we've been struggling the past couple of weeks. I mean, after losing the Yankees, that made us lose 5 out of the last 6 series, I think. I think either 4 out of the last 5 or 5 out of the last 6. I can't remember. So it was nice seeing Detroit come into town, but I am just getting sick and tired of. I want us to figure out a way to keep beating this team, because it just seems like we went into there 2 out of 3. I thought we should have won on Thursday, but no big deal. Okay, great. But boy, we come back home, and I don't know what it is about home. We suck at home, man. We just suck at home.
And we're a road team, man.
We got to figure out something here. But I tell you, with the Yankees and their pitch clock crap, and that's going to be something I'm going to bring up a little bit later. But I'm just kind of tired of losing to this team. We need to start. I know it's early. I know we're in June. Okay, I get it. I do. It's a long season. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. But I tell you, I hate this team, and I want to beat them every time we play them.
Bill. You know what, man? What this makes me sick to my stomach is that right now they have kind of a step up mentality now that Judge is out for that, for this period, and so there's people stepping up right now, and that makes me sick to my stomach. I really hoping they really tank, without their regular season leader. But they're capitalizing on mistakes. We had that big error late in the game. What game was that? The second game? A throwing error infield, and it broke open an inning for them. And then they're hot. What are they? I had it right here. 11-4 since late May. So they're kind of on a hot streak. But yeah, Bill, I'm with you. I hate the Yankees. I want them to lose at everything. I'm going to touch on the New York fans later on in our other segments, so I don't want to get too crazy here about New York.
I got a feeling these segments are all going to tie together, Roger. I think these
Yankees, Knicks doesn't make a difference.
Yep, I think we're all on the same page, and we didn't talk about this previously before the show, so we will find out.
So
later.
That's my take on that series, James. We stink at home. We're a road team. Hopefully, we're a 500 team at home. Just be 500 at home and over 500 on the road. It doesn't matter what side of the formula you use. As long as you're over 500 somewhere and play 500 somewhere, you're good. So I'm good with it as long as they maintain on the road playing the way they do. And they're a good road team.
Well, let's move on to the Tigers series real quick from last weekend. We only got the Friday, Saturday games in, but we did take both games at home. Sunday's game was postponed due to rain. Guys, what do you think? So we were just talking about home record versus our away record. You're probably going to be surprised with us being 39 and 33. Our home record is 19-17, and away we are 20-16. So not too far off. But this Tigers series, the one thing I want to point out, I think Tanner Bybee, coming off that Rangers series, he's been pitching really well.
Has indeed.
My first thought was when going into that Rangers game, I was like, he's got to do something. I said, if you remember when Tanner came up, he had glasses, he had short hair. I'm thinking, was he got to shave his head? Do we need to do something to change that? I was ready to call for his hair, and thankfully for him and probably his girlfriend, he turned that around. But yeah, Tanner's been pitching great and late into games, which the bullpen will be thankful for. So after the Tigers series, guys, what's your take?
My take is we're still not scoring runs. I mean, if you swing the whole week, right? We scored 5 runs on the first game against the Yankees, right? And then we went 2, 4, 3, 3. We're just not getting it done production wise. And I know Saturday was a strange day, and we can kind of talk about that in a little bit, but we're just not scoring runs. And it just seems like it's another one of those. And we knew it was going to happen, right? You knew all the young guys were going to have that little funk. You just were hoping that they weren't all going to be at the same time, right? And you're hoping that your veterans can kind of carry the team over that hump. And just, Jose's not been able to really do it. I mean, Stephen Kwan actually has been our hottest hitter and shout out to him for maybe figuring something out, whatever. But when you look at the rest of it, man, we're just struggling to score. And it's not that we're not getting guys on base. We're just not getting that big hit. That's the front. We're leaving so many. What did we do? I think it was 3 of the past 4 games we left over 11 guys on base. I think that was it, 11 or 12. I'm like, man, you cannot keep doing that and expect to have any success.
My biggest thing is right now that was 6-0 against Tigers, and we win one more and we'll win the season series against them. I think we only play each other 13 times, 12 or 13 times now compared to the old 19. So that was big within the division. You bury them kind of because we do have a doubleheader against them when we do next time they come here to make up yesterday. Then we can focus on the White Sox, and we're going to talk about them. I saw it in a banner. We're going to talk about the White Sox later. So I think it was a good bounce back series at home, which they need to win at home. So that was good. After they did something in that series, those 2 games that they didn't do against the Yankees, and that was play good defense. The outfield robbed Detroit of so many extra bases and big base hits. Taking away big base hits, play with defensive play in the outfield. I think it was Friday night to Louder with the sliding catch. That was a huge play. So it was a good bounce back series. I would have loved to have played yesterday and take the 3rd game because I think we had them on the ropes and we could have. But, Salvi, it was a good series to come back after getting swept by the Yankees, which disgusts me. So.
So yeah, Guards 4-6 in their last 10, struggling. Tied with the White Sox though for first place in the Central. So my question for you guys is, as soon as it comes up, there we go. What's the bigger AL Central surprise? The White Sox tied for first place, or the Tigers being a half game out of last place in the division and in the American League?
I'm going to go with the White Sox. Where they were the past couple of years and where they are right now with all these kids playing well and everything else, they are going to be tough. They got a manager that believes in them and they believe in him. I think they've got the ship righted. It seems like their attendance is up too. They're just getting those timely hits, right? I mean, one of their wins this weekend was a walk-off home run by the rookie, right? First home run and get a walk-off. Like, yeah. You look at stuff like that and you're like, man, I know it's June, but you got to start ramping things up here. And I know last year we were, 9 games out at this time last year, 8.5 or 9 games out from the Tigers, right? I think it was 9. And so we were able to come back, right? But there was a whole bunch of things that happened. You don't have a team right now. Yes, we can say maybe the same thing's going to happen to the White Sox, that the young kids are going to kind of tire out. And I don't know. I mean, we're pretty heavy in the young kids too. So are our young kids going to tire out? So we've got a lot of things that we have to look at. But boy, I tell you, the White Sox first place, that's impressive. And they beat the Dodgers. I mean, They beat the Dodgers. That's the other thing. I mean, it's the Dodgers. So that's another thing for them. You got to sit there and I tip my hat to them. They're going to be here all summer, and we're going to have to deal with them. We're going to have to deal with them twice in the next 12 days. Whew. Good series.
You know what? I think I knew Detroit was going to hit a wall. I knew Detroit was going to barely play. They're going to be under 500 and 3rd place in the division. They're a young team. They're experiencing what we did in 2023. After our young team hit a wall, blazed through the 162 games. So I completely expect Detroit to be where they're at. Basically, that's primarily based on their pitching. They don't develop pitching. So, and the White Sox, I knew the Twins were going to be rubbish. I knew that Detroit was going to have a down year. They're not rubbish. They're young. They're down. I worry about Detroit in 2 or 3 years if they get pitching. But really, the only team, the Royals, no. So the White Sox were the obvious choice because they have gotten a lot better since they fired La Russa. and they got rid of the guy that Jose knocked out, Anderson, and they got rid of that jerk out of that clubhouse. And these young guys, it's a mix really of young guys, and they got some veterans on that club because the White Sox got some money to spend when they want to spend money.
Yeah, they do.
So I kind of knew they'd be the only team that we'd have to worry about. I didn't know how much. I didn't know how much, and it turns out that it's some. What I will say is, other than this Dodgers have been playing great baseball. The Dodgers, Mookie Betts, Freeman is, they're not playing. They're playing bad baseball, but they spent the last 2 weeks feasting on the Twins for 6 games. They had the Giants for 3. They spent over 2 weeks feasting on bad baseball teams. The roster, their schedule starts to get a little more interesting. So let's see how the White Sox. And I'm not. It's June. I'm not worried about anybody but the Guardians right now. Way too early to worry about division placing. As long as we stay in there a game, 2 games in first, up or down, plus or minus, I got nothing else to complain about in June. So
they got the Yankees too coming up. It's a big series for the White Sox.
Yeah, I mean that would
be stay hot on that. With our luck, though, the Yankees will go cold and the White Sox will sweep.
Right. But yeah, White Sox basically they got just like us with the Lauder, Bazana. They got their kids up, Braden Montgomery and Chase Meredith. Two good young players to have people show up at their ballpark because last year they had some atrocious attendance there, which I mean that was well earned, right, for as bad as they were.
But Davis Martin is just outstanding. I mean, but what a starting pitch! What a turnaround he's had from last year. Kind of carrying that club for him too. So we got the pitching that can keep up with the White Sox. We just better start hitting.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. The offense, with the weather, we started to hit once the weather warmed up, and I hope we can continue to have this keep going on. Speaking of hitting, all 18 of our live viewers right now, please jump in the comments if you have any questions that you want to.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, if you want to push some questions out to us, you got any comments as far as the Guardians or baseball in general, please hit us up in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Go from there. So let's go with the breaking news, but it's not the breaking news that we want to be talking about, and it's not break-ed news from Wednesday nights on Dog Jug. It is because Jose Ramirez, unfortunately, is out indefinitely with the fractured left hamate bone. The surgery is upcoming, guys. I watched a post-game interview Andre Knott did in the locker room, and Jose said that they asked him when he noticed the pain, and I thought it just something that happened right away at the game, but I guess this is something that he's kind of been going through, where he's felt some discomfort there. Guys, how are we gonna handle this with the GOAT, our guy, our top all-star, our best veteran, best player, going to be out potentially 6 to 8 weeks?
Well, in 2019, he was out for what, 5 weeks? 5 weeks in 2019 when he broke the hamate bone on the other side, or on the other hand. And then he comes back and hits that grand slam like the first game back. But think about it. We've actually done pretty well with Jose not being Jose as we know him.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Gabby coming on up. That's good for him coming back up here. Maybe a little bit of that magic from the postseason last year. He and Rocchio, that one, maybe that's going to help him out a little bit. I think we're going to have to win it with pitching again. And right now, other than Cade, I'm just worried about that bullpen, trying to figure out. We got Holdeman, and he's been looking pretty good, but we're going to have to rely on the pitching again to get us through this. And unless somebody can get hot and carry us, that'd be great. But I'm not worried, because we're in pretty good shape so far. But I think the next 4-5 series, it's a tough time to have him out. It's a tough time. But what are you going to do? Yankees lost Judge, right? So let's figure it out and let's go.
Man, as a leader, as, the heart and soul of the entire franchise. And what he brings to the clubhouse. I think Jose kind of walks around the clubhouse and just, like an executive, and he has his, people, a couple players below him that like do his dirt, do his keep things in line. Jose just walks through and he's a presence, is what I'm trying to say, in that clubhouse. And there'll be some time where he's away from it. I think I miss that more than Jose's 240 batting at. You know what I mean? Replacing the numbers you can do. They're going to run Schneeman out there at third. Arias will be at third. Fry will play some third. They'll mix and match, different lineups, and that's what Vogt loves. Every night's a different lineup, different guy in a different position. So I even think hopefully we'll see the young kid down in Columbus. I won't pronounce his last name. I haven't heard anybody else say it. Geneal. Angel.
Oh, Hano,
Is it?
believe. I believe it's
Yeah,
Hano.
yes.
Hano. The G's and H's.
Hano, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Hano. Okay.
And he's playing
I'd love to
well.
see him come up even. We still got this Fairchild still on the 26. I didn't even pay attention. That's a Bill
Morgan
Smith.
Fairchild?
Yeah, Morgan. Yeah.
And my
Stewart.
wife. Yeah.
Is Stewart still around?
Jimmy Stewart?
Stewart's still there, baby.
Oh,
So-
jeez.
But Jose, what you're gonna miss is his presence. What Jose brings to that organization, man. Not just the clubhouse, not just on the field, just to the entire organization. But we'll make it through. I think this roster can. I think there's enough veteran leadership on this roster to carry us over. Guys have been around. Now Quan's hitting, he'll step up. You know what I mean? There's guys that are veterans that'll pick up where Jose, usually carries the weight.
Yeah, I think it's okay in June if we were, closer to the trade deadline, which, from everything I've heard reported, we were going to be buyers anyways. And, it's not like we're going to be a buyer for a third baseman with all the guys like that you named, even with Arias coming up and then David Fry potentially playing. And I thought about that because what was it, 2 years ago? I think the All-Star game was in Texas, and we no longer have Naylor. We no longer have Clase. Quan, is starting to pick it up. But David Fry, I remember when he got named an All-Star, I'm like, yeah, it sounds like a one-off to me. Nothing against David Fry because he's been a great teammate and he's come up clutch in the playoffs. But, is it something where he's going to get more playing time? Sheeman's going to play anywhere. So he'll fill in some third base as well. But Saturday when all this was going on, they might as well have played the MASH theme song at the Progressive Field because we had more issues with DeLauder leaving the game early, running into the wall, hurting his ribs, and then Martinez fouling the ball off his foot, left this game early. I don't know if you guys saw, but when Martinez left the Progressive Field, looked like he was driving on a Vespa, but looked like he was okay.
Yeah.
And he's going to be potentially available having the rain day yesterday, the postponement, and then off today. Hopefully Martinez will be in the lineup come tomorrow. But the Lauder, I still haven't heard anything back on. I don't know what you guys thought, but I want to kind of get into a question that this has kind of been in my mind since seeing, I think it was in might have been in Sacramento when DeLauder fouled the ball off his front foot. I think it was the second series. But anyways, I saw him hobbling off into the dugout after fouling the ball off his foot. And there's something just strikes me. And this is my question. It's not a popular opinion, but it's kind of mine. Are you injured or are you hurt? I kind of get that from the movie The Program. If you guys remember that football movie, I believe from the 90s, that was the thing. Are you injured or are you hurt? And with Chase DeLauder, he's had such an injury history in the minor leagues. Every time I would read it, I didn't necessarily see the plays, but you would read it. He's out again, and he's out again, and he's out again. I've also heard the reports of why he was available to the Guardians in the draft that year because there were some red flags that teams decided to pass on. Now, we saw him come up the end of last year, get his major league debut in the playoffs, but then has came out and had a nice start to his career. Still considered his rookie season. My question, guys, is this guy, with all the talent that he has, is he kind of like the Cavs where he's regular season nice, but when it comes to the playoffs, is he going to be tough enough? And I'm already questioning that now with him during the regular season, and it's a long major league season. So that's the question that I'm posing. Is Chase DeLauter soft in some ways?
You know, when I saw this in the banner yesterday, I think you put it in, I kind of looked back at his history, and you're right, man. You got to play hurt. You know, guys play hurt. It's over 162 games. You're gonna hurt, I'm sure. You know, I never did it, but I know me, I'd be dead. So I'm sure that they hurt. So yeah, man. I want to lean towards he might be a little soft. He might be a little soft. I don't know, man. I guess we'll find out this year. I hate to. Yeah, man. I think you know what I want to wrap them in bubble wrap a lot. You know, I feel that
Yeah.
that need. So I guess that would mean he's a little. For me, he's touchy. I guess, or he's you know. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if he's really soft or, you know, if they're not treating anything and he's missing because he's injured, then it looks like he's just hurt. You know, we learned that in football with the Browns, you know. So, you know, what's the treatment? What are they doing? Are they shutting him down or is he just shutting down? You know,
well, and they haven't
that's what
announced.
it comes out to.
Yeah, they haven't announced the scans come back yet. You know what's going on. So,
Which is kind of strange that it's taking this long.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't.
I love him. You know,
let's give him credit though too. He has. I think if we had to guess by June, do we think he would be on the injured list at some point already? It probably would have been a favorable choice.
Yeah,
because that was everybody's concern. Is he going to be able to play 5 days a week? Is he going to play 4? Like we were just dying for offense, so we didn't care, right?
And I really think that early in the year you had to wait. You'd see people, wow, DeLauter's not in the lineup. DeLauter's not in the lineup. I'm like, it's May, man. You know, it's end of April. It's May. Good. You know, let's keep him, you know, in bubble wrap. Not in bubble wrap, but let's give him some time off and not run him out there 5 nights a week. I'm not a fan of that at all. You know, I think that's a real way for him not to be around in September, October. So, yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Look, this is the beginning of his career. I don't care what's happened in the past. He's played hard. He ran into the wall, probably hurt his ribs when he ran into the wall, right? And so maybe it's one of the things that as he starts to play more and more, he'll realize when he can do certain things and can't do certain things. Maybe he misjudged the ball. I don't know. Let's give the kid an opportunity to just kind of develop, right? I don't think he's soft. I do think he may be injury prone, and maybe that's something that he's going to have to, and the club's going to have to look at with him in the off seasons or even during the season to stay in shape. But man, it's a young kid. This is rookie year. Let's give him a chance. He's going to learn. He's going to learn to get hurt too. I mean, even Jose didn't come up his first year as a starter, right? He came up as, you know, kind of putting in here and there and, you know, played third, played short, kind of put him in different places. We're asking the kid to do a lot. I mean, heck, we were putting him in the 4-hole for a bit, right? So let's just wait and see. My concern would be if he cracked a rib, right? If he cracked a rib, then it's going to be almost like,
that's bad.
It's going to be like Judge. I mean, really, if he ended up cracking a rib or something like that. So let's just wait and see. Because if the fact that they don't have something right now that the club has not come out with something really strange, it almost makes me a bit worried that there might be something a little bit more than just, you know, a bruised rib cage or whatever, right? I mean, I'm kind of surprised here that was Saturday and here we are Monday night. So let's give him a chance. I do think he may be injury prone, and that might be something that there's a lot of professional athletes that are injury prone that have overcome it. Let's give the kid the chance. Let's just see what he can do, and just hope and pray right now it's not serious.
Yeah, this is, like I said, the reason why I brought up the question, it's more an awareness thing. It's something I've been thinking about. And, when we talk about injury prone, we've saw players that just have bad, dumb luck. But we've also saw guys like, hey, we need you out there. We need you to play. Now, is the beginning of June when we should be screaming for it? Not necessarily. We already know his history. The team knows his history. I think we know how the team's going to handle it. When in doubt, sit him. The same way when Jose thought he could go out and play third base after his fracture, and then they said he couldn't even squeeze his glove because he thought he could at least go out there and play defense, and so they pulled him right away. So, and I'm glad they did too. But yeah, so yeah, I'm concerned about the Lauder. I hope he can, continue to be successful when he's out there. I just hope his availability in the long haul is going to be there, and hopefully these scans come back clean. So right now, the other thing we talk about too is there was some movement going on with these injuries, but then also some trades made. Nolan Jones traded to the White Sox. I think that's our recipe to try to make the White Sox worse, because Nolan Jones didn't do anything for us. Except maybe create a nice breeze on a swing and miss on a hot summer day at Progressive Field. We gave him, multiple chances. Guys, what do you think of what's the Nolan Jones thing? Like, we're going to even remember his name in a few years.
No, he had his opportunities, couldn't make the most of it. We can sit there and argue and say, did he come up and down like did the club treat him like a yo-yo, up and down and up and down and up and down? I think he had more than enough chances, just didn't embrace it. I love Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips is one of my favorite baseball players of all time. And I would argue that when he came up with us, and maybe this was Eric Wedge too, but when he came up with us, he was still, learning the position and kind of a hothead. And I would argue he turned out to be one of the best second basemen for the Reds in a long, long time. So he had an opportunity, didn't do the opportunity, gone. Let's go. Next man up.
Yeah, no, this is a kid, when I saw him in Akron, and I saw him hit a couple balls in Akron, and he just blistered them, and he's just big and strapped. He just looked like a ball player. He walked like one. He stood like one. He's just everything you want. And he had some success here, and they traded him, and we got him back, and I don't know what Colorado did to him. But yeah, good luck with them in Chicago. I hope things work out for him. I hope it don't work out in Chicago. They trade him to somewhere in the National League, and things work out great for him.
We know where we want him to go. We want him to go back to Colorado with D. Podesta.
Go back to Colorado. D. Podesta's running things. He can.
Man, he had like 20 some home runs.
They did score 23 runs.
1 year.
They did score 23 runs the other day.
Yeah, they embarrassed the A's in Las Vegas.
I know.
Oakland has to love that.
You look at his production, though. Since they sent him down in AAA, and I can see where the White Sox are saying, okay, let's see if we can, maybe because, he's hitting AAA pitching, no problem. So there's somebody in the White Sox organization that thinks they can figure it out. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got some, I think, international money back in a bag of balls. So you want to talk about an outfielder, George Valera, designated for assignment. I have not heard whether or not he's going to be reassigned to the Clippers or if anybody's picked him up. Guys, George Valera joins a list of two guys, I think, John Kenzie Noel and Oscar Gonzalez, that were outfielders with power that looked like they might do something. We had open holes in the outfield for guys to go and take, and those have started to close with some of the other guys we have now. The way Martinez has stepped up and the way DeLauder's hit. George Valera, just another guy at the end of the year that we're going to remember, had a few big hits, and that's about it.
Yeah, there's a guy that he hit 4 in the playoffs at one point for
I
us.
can't remember. Yeah, but he had some
Yeah,
big
he hit
hits.
somewhere high up
Big
in the order,
homers.
maybe 2 or I don't know. But he was he kid was bad on defense. He killed you on defense, and I think that was just the return on him. And I think it's a move. They had a clear room on the 40, and there was another move they made that with the Nolan Jones is another 40-man move. Clearing room on the 40-man roster. So just I think that it could go either way, James. Like you said, he could turn out to be something, or he was just another one of the SpongeBob kids, that had a couple bright moments in the sun that a few get to experience in life or do. So, awesome for him. But he hasn't helped the Guardians much, or I don't see him helping the Guardians much in the future. So.
But see, this is where my concern is, and you brought up the Oscar Gonzalez and John Kenzie Noel. Why are these guys not? Why are they not taking advantage of that? Is it because of their background and they like you think about, is this kid privileged, or hey, I'm on the major league roster, I hit a home run against the Yankees to win a game, to win a game, and you sit here and you're like, okay, does it get to their head? Is the club doing enough to keep these guys centered to say, you know what, you want to have a long career here, you put in the work? It does make me wonder if these guys are really putting in the work, and we don't know because they're not, the team doesn't say anything. But when I see a DFA, to me, I think what it does is, number one, it tells the fans that these guys are not working hard enough. I really do. Because if you've done everything, and the club's done everything for these guys to have success and they're not embracing it, you want to tell them the second step, or the second thing, you want to tell the rest of your minor leaguers, hey, we're opening up spots. If you don't produce, we're going to let you go. And I do think that's a big message, but I do wonder if all of this, and this is just a big thing that I have, with all of this platooning that has just skyrocketed since really analytics has taken over, has it really damaged the development of players going forward, not just for us and all of Major League Baseball? Because I don't think I think part of that is the batting average. The pitchers are really good now, but the batting average now versus what it was 20, 25 years ago, big difference. And I know it's philosophy, and I get all that. But I go back to this. Ken Griffey Sr., when he came up with the Reds, right? They would play him like 3 days in a row, and then they'd sit him, right? And then they'd play him 2 or 3 days in a row, then they'd sit him. So as rookie year, you're getting the at-bats, boom, 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 boom. But then you're getting that day off so that you can kind of think about it and everything else. And they're not sending him back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I do think that there is, I think when you DFA someone, I think it's a message to the fans to say, these guys aren't doing what we want them to do. And I think it's a message to the rest of the kids at the minors. Hey, we need you to do this if you want to stay in this, because I think any guy who's DFA'd, I think the other clubs are going to look at him and say, do we really want to have him on our club?
Yeah. It used to be where, bringing up young talent, it was more like a crock-pot slow cooker type meal with these, give these guys more time to almost marinate, if you will. But right now, look at Connor Griffin that came up and got that big contract, and he's just making major league debut this year, and a hell of a player. But they're starting to pay some of these young guys real quick because they'll take these bigger contracts earlier on in their career for some financial security. So, I'm curious what we're going to do with Bazzana, how he does this year, because he's already playing well. And obviously we're thankful to have him. There's a little sacrifice with his defense at second base. That's something I think he'll grow into. But as we see him as a leadoff hitter, he looks solid for us. So, yeah. And then, we have Gabe Arias here on the list. We talked to him about him a little bit coming up. here he is. He's going to get another chance and get some time at third base. Roger, I know you were a big Gabe Arias guy last year when I was trying to sell Rocchio or Juan Brito over there, getting him at shortstop. I want to, if anybody's going to say anything good about Gabe Arias, it's going to be Roger. So I'm going to let you have the floor on this one.
I think Arias has a lot of power. He's got a big cannon of an arm. He is inconsistent. He's streaky. When he gets hot, he gets rolling. He was hot right when he got hurt. Man, he was hitting the baseball well. So I hope that he picks up. But this is a year that really, are you a big leaguer? The thing with what Vogt does is how he platoons. I don't want to say platoons, but he just moves people around so much. He's going to play some short. He's going to play probably some outfield too, maybe. And also third base. Because he did play some left field for us when he was our left fielder when we had Rosario at short. So yeah, I like him. I think he's got everything, a ball player needs to be a big league hitter. And he just needs to get over the hump. So he was going to be on this team and on this 26 until the end of the year, no matter what. People talking about trading him or DFA him. He's not going. Vogt loves him. He's not going anywhere. He's a right-handed bat with power. He's not going anywhere. So get that out of your minds, unless the deadline and it's some pitching or something. But I don't see Arias. Vogt loves him. Vogt loves him.
Yeah, I think with his arm strength that we saw from the short position, third base shouldn't be any problem for him. No. So we don't lose anything there. I don't know, how good he'll be charging the ball on a bunt play or infield chopper, but if he can play short, he should be able to play third, right?
Right. Yeah, he'll be fine over that.
So, and I think the ladies will be happy because of his hair. I mean, that's probably what most people will notice. That's what he'll be remembered for, is his hair.
That's true.
So, Roger, I think we're at the point where we're at the 7th inning stretch. Roger, if you want to lead us off on that.
All right. Here we got this is our Bill came up with this segment. We've talked a lot of baseball tonight, and this is to get away from a little bit, maybe. Some of the stories have baseball, but they're more fun and not so much statistics and win-loss oriented. So I'll start because I got a good one. And did you guys hear about the Nacho twins? The Nacho twins.
No.
A Texas woman, she went into labor 8 weeks early while camping on the Texas-Oklahoma border. And she believed that her stomach cramps were just a reaction to a bad batch of nachos, which I can relate to that. You bet, bad batch of nachos.
Taco Bell, baby.
Yeah. She finally agreed to ride to the hospital with her husband's grandmother. Grandma was out camping too. And en route, she delivered both premature boys in the moving passenger car. Grandma never hit the brakes, went straight to the hospital. And Dad found out FaceTiming Grandma while she's driving to the hospital. And so the whole family, the nachos turned out to be good. That's good news. The nachos were not bad. And she just had her kids way early. Both boys are doing well. And they're doing great for being, from what I read, being this premature. It's outstanding. The whole family's happy. So the nachos were good. The kids are good. Everything's good.
Do we have the kids' names at all? No report of the kids' names.
They both started with K, and they're not named Bob and Paul. Two names I would remember. There are two names that start with a K that are like a million other of those names that I don't know. So I don't remember them. I didn't write them down because one of them I didn't know how to pronounce. So
appreciate the honesty on that one.
That's cool. Great story.
Yeah.
Go for it, Bill.
All right. Well, everybody, you this is it. This is our breakaway from baseball. It is World Cup, baby. And it has been it's kind of crazy. I said on social media that I thought by going to 48 teams This is going to kind of be a precursor to what the NCAA men's basketball tournament is going to look like as we open up to more and more teams. That you're going to see these blowouts in the first couple games, right? I just didn't think it'd be the U.S. that was going to be the team that was going to do the blowing out. I got to say, I'm 60 years old, and that could very well be one of the most incredible performances of a U.S. men's national team I've ever seen. Second half was still pretty good. I mean, second half we had to make some changes because of some injuries and some other stuff, but that was the best I've seen the team play. And it's not, they weren't playing to kind of just play defense and then we're going to get you on one or two runs and we're just going to see if we can maybe score a goal here or there. These guys were pushing. These guys were pressing. And who knows, you might be able to do that against really good teams. It'll be interesting to see. I think there are radio stations in Cleveland that are not embracing this the way I thought they would, especially after the big U.S. win. I mean, you've got some famous soccer people saying the best looking team so far to date has not been Germany, it's been the U.S. And so when Thierry Henry says the U.S. was the best looking team, this is a guy who's won world. I mean, this is a guy who's one of the greatest players of all time. So it's one game. I get it. But boy, I tell you, even looking at today's stuff, right? I had no idea that Belgium was going to just get a draw. I thought they were going to blow out Egypt, but instead they get a 1-1 draw. And then even tonight was a 1-1 draw with Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. I thought Uruguay was going to be like blowing them out of the water, but my gosh, there have been some really amazing performances so far by some of these goalies, and even some of the defenders. But I tell you, man, this has just been this next couple of weeks can be so much fun, and the fact that the U.S. men's game was the most watched men's game ever, and it was just the first game. They didn't even do the second or third game yet. It's a great start. I think FIFA has some issues that they're going to have to deal with over the next couple of weeks. We started to see that a little bit in the course of the past couple of days. But boy, this is starting off to be a pretty epic story. And all of the wonderful people who are coming to our country from Japan and from Germany and from Sweden and from Scotland who are sitting here saying, "Oh my God, this is incredible." And why are we not hearing about this more often in our country? I think that's one of the best things that's been on social media over the past 7-8 days.
So
that's my story.
Did you see the fans, the Japanese fans, go through and clean the stadium?
Yeah.
I want to move to Japan. That sounds like just a beautiful place. Like there's not a speck of dirt anywhere. I want to.
My son lives in Boston, and so he said the Tartan Army, when they were there for the game in Foxborough and actually the past couple of days, he said that city has just come alive. I mean, like the first day the Scots came over, the very first day they went to a bar that's a Scottish bar. The guy thought he had enough beer, ran out of beer. Day one, the Scot came, he ran out of beer. So the owner of the bar comes on and says, "I thought we had enough." Like, nope, you're not going to have enough when the Scots come into town. And to see them walk all the way to the Red Sox game last night, and they were having an absolute ball. I guess this morning they were told that they can't walk the streets with beer, so they rented a boat. And they just cruised through Boston and probably the St. Charles River on the boat drinking. That's awesome. That is just awesome. I would love to see them make it out of the group stage.
So, guys, I think you're already into the stand-up, sit-down already. I think we can all agree that our stand-up is, which I'm just going to say this right now. I would say weeks ago, if I knew that we were going to be talking World Cup on our baseball show, I'd have been pissed off 100%. Because typically I hate soccer. If you could transport me back to maybe some Cleveland Force games at Richfield Coliseum, or if you take me back to a Cleveland Crunch game, and every time they score, they had that guy doing that dance and shit after the Crunch would score, I'd be about that. But soccer, my gosh, I have the hardest time watching it. So the stand-up part of this, 100%, is the fans. The foreigners, the international people that are coming in.
Amen.
And just having an absolute blast. I have shared the shit out of these posts on X. And I'm going to keep doing it because it's freaking awesome. It's been incredible. We're getting ready to celebrate America's 250th birthday here pretty soon. And here we are talking about all the people that are coming over from other countries that are enjoying Buc-ee's, Walmart, back to nachos. Let's go Taco Bell.
Golden Corral.
Are you kidding me? And they're having a blast, and I love it. I love all. Like Bill, you start talking about this, the countries and the scores and the games. I could care less almost. I'm enjoying the fans. So, Bill, as you know, and during the 2028 Olympics that are in LA, they're going to be host cities for soccer, and Columbus is one of them. So I want to go down. I would love to cover. I don't know if I even need to go to a game. Just put me outside the stadium. I just want to cover the fans. And right now, as I told you guys in the past, my daughter's down in Rosario, Argentina, and she sent me pictures yesterday from a bar that is dedicated to Diego Maradona.
Wow.
Yeah, so she sent me some pictures from down there. It was really cool. They got the scarves hanging on the wall. Cool. You know, his image on the glass and all that stuff. So I told her I need some video of when Argentina plays a game.
Tomorrow night.
Send me some video. Yeah.
Tomorrow night. They got the 9:00 spot.
Yep. I said, get out there and you're going to have a blast. So I still can't believe we're just under an hour here on the show tonight. We got 34 live viewers. We appreciate the hell out of all you guys. Get some comments in there. We're going to have to get back to baseball. I cannot believe we're still talking soccer, but it's been worth it. But definitely the fans have been awesome. I would say the sit down, speaking of fans, New York Knicks fans. What the hell was that? What were you doing in New York City? And I know you're heavily populated, one of the most populated cities in our country, but what the hell? Thank God Cleveland did not act the way that we saw New York fans acting after that game. And that's not all of them. I don't want to throw them all in the same boat. Not fair, right? I was down for the Cleveland parade. I remember there was a shooting after we got on the RTA. There was a shooting down near the Jack Casino that day. Still had the time of our life. But yeah, the New York fans, that's definitely our sit down. Guys, they're just Yankees fans in Knicks gear, right?
Right. That's all they are. That's all they are.
Throw a couple Mets fans in there too.
Bill, you got a couple?
No, I'm good with that. To me, those were perfect. I don't need to. I don't need to add anything.
Quick, I got something, man. That and I'll skip my ABS because that was the New York fans, and you know they.
Yep, I'm with you.
You know, it was the destruction of property. It was all the. They ended up getting charged with all kinds of being assault on police officers, criminal mischief, criminal possession of weapons. It was just they destroyed buses for people that were at the Olympics in Jersey, I guess. A lot of school buses got damaged, and then all of them were found guilty of being ignorant, toxic, belligerent New York fans. So they have those charges on them too. So I won't. I do have a stand-up, sit down, and this is here it is right here. Gunnar Henderson for calling out the Padres and their Bush League retaliation. Here's what happened. Orioles starter Trey Gibson accidentally drilled a Padres star Bogarts directly in the helmet with a 93 and a half mile an hour pitch. He was forced out of the game with neck spasms. There's no way that Gibson was throwing at his head. You know, there was no cause for it in the game. It was an accident. And in retaliation, though, the Padres went out after Henderson in the seventh to try to hit him during a 12-pitch at bat and ended up walking him. couldn't plunk them. He dodged a couple. And that should have been the end of it. But oh no. In the bottom of the ninth, the Padres, they're up big, right? The game's won. And one of the relievers plunked them right in the back. And I think my sit down is attached to this, and I think it's the sit down is the Padres for carrying out a retaliation on something that's obviously was an accident and a mistake. In baseball, guys get hit, and you don't see retaliation when it's something like that. Nobody's trying to get hit in the head. But also was Alvarez, their manager, for not having Henderson's back. He said that it was he kind of defended and said it was they handled it the right way, the Padres. And he's taken a lot of grief from the fans and some say from within eternally in the clubhouse for not defending Henderson on that because it was bullshit. You had your chance, you tried to hit him, and you missed him, and you come back and hit him in the ninth. I just hit the next guy if you missed Henderson. I don't like it. I think it's Bush League. And that's all I have to say on that.
Well, guys, we're at a 1 hour mark of the show. Once again, we appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Let's look ahead real quick, the upcoming schedule for the week. Guardians on the road all week and then into next week. But they start with 3 in Milwaukee Tuesday, tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday. We got Cerconi going in the first game. Messick the second game. Bybee, who has been hot, and look at his ERA under 4. Going against guys that, their ERAs. We got Dorhan through a 3.59. So hopefully, with the loss of Jose, we can still get to their starters, guys. What do you feel going back to the stomping ground of Mr. Robin Yount and Paul Molitor?
Well, I got to say we're lucky that we're missing Misarowski. We're very lucky because I think they actually moved him to the Friday game. I think he was supposed to be pitching Thursday, and that would have been a nice matchup, Bybee and he. But they moved him to the Friday game. Hey, look, we got 25 games, okay? And we only have 2 days off. And of those 25 games that are coming up, 16 of them are on the road. So this is going to be a big series to start right now. So we need Slade to kind of get us going on the good setup. And then I think we need Parker to bounce back from the, kind of the home run barrage and the hard hit balls that he's been giving up the past couple outings. But so this is big, man. This is baseball. This is great stuff. But Milwaukee's that stadium is an incredible stadium. It's an absolutely incredible stadium. So who knows? This is going to be a good series. This is going to be a good series because Milwaukee's playing well. We need to get back into first. I think we need to, when we get ready to meet the White Sox at home, we need to be, hey guys, we're still the king of the Central here.
I agree. They're running away right now with Pat Murphy's got them playing great baseball. They're running away with their division. Like 43-25, 43-26. I had it here in front of me, but
5-game lead, Roger.
Their youth movement. I don't want to do the math. Don't make me do math. But they're being aggressive. We're going to see they called up to Cooper Pratt. So we're going to see him tomorrow night. Oh. Yeah. And the Brewers, they called up their shortstop prospect, highly anticipated debut. He signed a massive 8-year contract in April. So they're addressing their infield problems they're having on that side of the infield. So they got great fans. It's a great baseball city. I'm old enough to we're old enough to remember when they were American League team.
Harvey's Wallbangers.
I'm looking forward to going to that series.
Yeah, it should be competitive. Like I said, first place team. It's good. NL Central's been competitive all year, but Milwaukee's starting to pull away a little bit, probably from Misarowski's great starts. And you got to respect any manager, anybody that has the pocket pancake. Do you guys remember that story with Pat Murphy, the pocket pancake, there where he pulled it out of a hoodie during a game? So anybody that can keep a pancake in their pocket, just pull it out mid-game for a snack. I got to respect that, especially with a team that supports alcohol.
That's elite. Shamil Samazel.
Yeah. So after the Milwaukee series, we go down to Houston to play the Assholes. No, I did not mispronounce that. For the weekend series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we got Cantillo, Joey Cantillo, Gavin Williams, and once again, Slade Ciccone back. Gavin Williams, that ERA, 3.32, continues to impress this first half of the year. Houston not playing as well this season. What do you think going down into Houston as we continue on the road without Jose? What are you looking for going into the Houston series, guys?
Well, wasn't it the Houston series last year where we were down and out, and then we ended up sweeping them 3-0? And I think that kind of was the start to catching the Tigers, right? That's why I think this is going to be another kind of big one here as we roll into the middle, near the end of June here. We don't fare well against the Astros down there. That's why last year when we took all three of them last year, I was shocked. I mean, I was shocked when we went down there. I think that might have been the first time we ever took all three of them in Houston, right? So, this is the last time we'll see them. It'll be we've got a very, very good group of pitching going for us. That Williams Burrows game is going to be that's one where I'd like to really see Gavin just dominate. But boy, I tell you, if we can both of these series, if we can get that first win, right? I think if we can get that first win, that'd be a great start, man. That would just be a really, really solid way for the fans and for the team, but also for the fans to say, okay, we're good. Jose out, whatever with DeLauder, we're good. If we can just get that first win, I think it takes a lot of pressure off this young team and they can go out there and play hard.
I'm hoping for the continue the way they've been playing on the road, because this is I'd love to take all three of them in Milwaukee. I'd love to take two. I'd be happy with one. You win one on the road in Milwaukee and you go to Houston and sweep them, because it's a series that they should win. All of their reloaded ideas, everything they did free agency has kind of failed on them. The only thing they do well is they play good defense. They play really good defense, and that's led by their first baseman, has some 60-plus game errorless streak running. Let's see if we can break that. Hit some bullets at them. And they have a good bullpen. Their bullpen is keeping their head above water. And so I think it's a series they should go and win. The way they play on the road tells me they will go in there and win. And that's what I see out of the Houston. Those days are over, Bill. And it started last year with the sweep. Let's get another one where Houston's not a problem.
Bill, you got some party lights going on back there?
I do. Look at that. Got the strobe light going on.
Man.
I was trying to get to just red, white, and blue for the Guardians, but also for our 250th anniversary. But I don't know how the green and the purple got into there. I thought I programmed it to red, white, and blue, but I screwed up somewhere because there's not green and yellow and pink and then purple. I'm like, okay, I screwed that up. But got the party lights going out on the patio here. One of my favorite places to be in the summer. Morning, noon, and night.
It's beautiful.
There's my red and blue. Looks like I got pulled over, though.
I love it. Oh, James, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I need to get my license and registration out.
Hey, I do want to touch on, James, before we close out. Are we done with talking about Houston?
We going final thoughts here? Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Well, I want to touch on this. The Field of Dreams. Only because I love the story. And I want to direct people to my X page. The Sunday Night Guardians X page is coming. But I want to talk about the Field of Dreams segment. The Miracle League of Arizona is a nonprofit organization that provides an adaptive baseball experience for individuals, with physical, mental, or health-related disabilities based on specialized stadium facility in Scottsdale, Arizona. I saw a video. The video's on my X page, and it's just the kid hit a home run and won it. But I'm all for getting everybody to play baseball and making it possible for all of them. And these kids were out there having fun. They're all age inclusivity programs from ages 5 all the way up to 99. They have the buddy system, so they're always looking for people to volunteer and help the athletes. And this is the best part. This is why I'm talking about it, because the cost is free for families, 100% free. If you have a child with disabilities, you want them to play baseball, or they want to play baseball, it's completely free. It's funded through community donation, grants, and sponsors. So take a look at them. The Miracle League of Arizona, they're trying to grow across the country. I'd love to see that happen. I'd love one in our community. After I've been out to the Nordonia day that they had, the Special Olympics type day that they had out there that we go to every year. So that'd be a great thing. Check it out, the Miracle League of Arizona. Back to you, James.
Yeah, Bill, do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
I got one thing. So every year we are approaching, and I said I was going to do this a couple weeks ago. Every year on July 5th, Major League Baseball will not allow the Cleveland Guardians to celebrate Larry Doby Day, meaning have everybody wear the number 5 on the back of their jerseys or anything like that, right? Not the number 5, sorry. Larry Doby made so many contributions to not just Indians baseball. First black baseball player to hit a home run in the World Series. You can argue and say he was a key reason why we made the 48 World Series and won it. After his playing days, he became an outstanding hitting coach. And he went to he was with the Expos for, good Lord, I don't know how many years, right? And so many of those players that came up said that Larry Doby changed the way that they looked at pitching as a hitter, right? Came on to, let's see, he was on the Indian staff under Frank Robinson. And then I think the next year, Bill Veeck brought him over to the White Sox. And he turned the White Sox from the worst hitting team into the best hitting team in 2 years. Major League Baseball needs to allow the Guardians to do something for every July 5th for Larry Doby Day. And maybe not just through the entire Major League Baseball, but I really think that there should be something in which maybe every July 5th, the Guardians get to have Doby in the back and everybody wears that. I don't know. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the Guardians too, not pushing the envelope a little bit more. Maybe they're trying to be real nice to Major League Baseball, but there's sometimes that you just have to stand up for your former players and just say, no, we're going to do this. And if you're going to find me, go ahead and find me. Make July 5th Larry Doby Day. I'm done.
I 100% agree, Bill.
Nice job, guys. I'm not going to add to that. That's more final thought, and it's something I kind of wanted to close with that we were talking about earlier with the New York Knicks. Well, we're desperate for a championship here for our baseball team, and the only thing that I can tie into it that maybe from the Knicks winning a championship would be that an owner with the last name of Dolan finally ended a drought with their professional franchise. So my thoughts are, is this the year of the Dolan? Is this the year that somehow, some way, as it's hard to forecast in June for what could happen in October or early November, but could Paul Dolan have his Cleveland Guardians win the World Series in 2026? And I really hope somehow, some way, we can get there and celebrate a World Series championship in the streets of Cleveland.
I got goosebumps, dude. I got goosebumps. Let's go. Come on,
man.
Come on.
There's no sports championship I want more than a World Series.
Agreed.
So,
Agree.
If the Knicks winning their championship helps the Guardians, I'm all for it. I'll go get a Knicks hat.
Nope.
We got that. Yeah, we got that recorded right there. maybe we need to get Knicks hats for the playoffs. That's what we need to do.
Oh,
We'll look like
And we'll burn a couple school buses if need be.
no.
no. We
All
can't
right,
talk
we
all
won't
that
be
other good
we
stuff and
won't-
then go
we
burn
won't
school
be like
buses.
the
We can't
fans.
do
We
that.
won't be like the fans. All right.
No,
All right.
no,
Way
definitely
to
not.
wrangle me in.
No, school districts, you are safe. You are fine.
Yeah, I forgot we're not scumbags like New York people.
Yeah, so
forgot.
there you go. But hey, thanks everybody for joining us, guys. I think we had a good show. I know we're a day late this week with a little bit of Monday Night Guardians, but thanks to all of our viewers that are still tuned in now. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or follow us on the X account, the Dog Chugs X account, and everything's been scrolling there on the feed at the bottom. Follow Bill, Roger, and myself, and then check out Wednesday night at 9:30. Dog Chug with Roger, Andy, Ed, Lana, and whoever else is going to be in there. Lysandra, another guest. Check those guys out Wednesday night to talk all Cleveland sports. And I still cannot believe we talked that much soccer tonight. Oh my gosh. And I got a feeling we're gonna keep doing it somehow. If the U.S. team still keeps winning, somehow they're gonna get squeezed in here. But
Some are the Guardians, some are the Guardians, some are of soccer. Let's make it
right.
happen. Let's make it happen. Come on.
Well, guys, we're jumping back in this Sunday. Is that correct? Being Father's Day, are we still going to jump in and join everybody?
Ooh, we gotta think about that one.
Yeah.
Monday. Maybe we'll do another
gotta think about
Monday
that
night
one.
show.
Yeah, maybe
That's
it's
Pop's Day.
Yep, that's right.
Pop's
So
Day, man.
you may see us next Monday instead of Sunday here at the end of this week.
There you go.
But
Yeah, man.
follow on
US
social
Open
media and
too.
we'll give you an
Oh
update.
my gosh, so much going on this weekend.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Until next week, go Guards.
Night.
Sayonara.